Kia Silliman. What? Hi, my name is Kia Silliman, and I'm a professional dancer with the Brooklyn Nets.
My name is Silliman, and I am Kia Silliman's mother. First, let me say that Kia got started in gymnastics because of her energy, her determination, and I definitely needed something to combine her strong will, her physical strength, and her determination all in one, and gymnastics seemed to do it. So at 3, got the girl in gymnastics, and she just took to it like a duck in water. And then later on in school, she danced. We come from a very artistic family, very artistic family. So there was always movement, there was always music, and Kia was an amazing dancer. The funny thing, when we would see her do her floor routine, there was always so much hip action and everything, and sometimes I'd really worry and say, you should tone that down a little bit. But the dancer was just oozing out of her, especially in the floor routine. I think in her sophomore year in high school, she came to me and she said that, you know, I don't think I want to be a teacher. I don't think I want to be an attorney. And she said, I think I just want to dance. It was just like, okay, what do we do now? And Kia said to me, but don't worry. I'll make sure I have something to fall back on. And I said, you know what? You gotta go with what you want to do. And if dance is what you think you want to do, we got you, we'll support you.
When I decided to go to college for dance, I went to the University of the Arts. Started my freshman year in the fall of 2010. I had a great time, I learned a lot, I was very challenged, and at the end of my freshman year, in spring of 2011, I started to feel a little bit of a pain in my right hip. Wasn't sure what it was, nothing specific caused it, I just started to feel a little twang. And so I went to my sports medicine doctor who I had seen and was very helpful through any gymnastics injuries I had endured prior to that time. We ran some scans, and when those scans came back, he told me, I think you need to go get some more tests done, and he referred me to Dr. Brian T. Kelly at the Hospital for Special Surgery, as well as another doctor who we researched, we met with, but it seemed like Dr. Kelly and the Hospital for Special Surgery was the best fit for us. They went over all of the details of my injury, of what they might need me to do in order to prevent further injuring myself. And we ran some tests, and when those tests came back, it was verified that I had a labral tear, which was caused by dysplasia and impingement in my hip. So normally the hip socket looks like this and the head of the femur sits in it nice and comfy like that, but mine was very shallow. So rather than moving around like this, things were moving like this and rubbing together that were not supposed to be rubbing together, which is ultimately what caused the tear.
The way it was treated, as I indicated before, is through an open surgical hip dislocation. The application of arthroscopy as a tool to address these really became much more popular in the early 2000s. There were a lot of technical advancements in it. After I spent time working with both Dr. Berg and Dr. Philippon and brought a lot of those techniques into my practice, and then through the course of my practice has been an evolution of techniques to improve access, so actual different instruments and devices that allow us to get in more safely, ways that we can reduce the duration of the surgery. So as I said, we have to distract the hip, and if we can minimize the amount of time that the hip is in distraction, it's beneficial for the patient. And just understanding a lot more about the rehabilitation process has actually probably been the biggest advancement. When I started doing them in my practice in the early 2000s, you couldn't find many therapists who really understood the concept of rehab after a hip arthroscopy for a labral repair. And now it's very, very common. And a lot of the stuff that we do at this hospital is work with the therapist to try to increase the number of high-quality therapists to try to manage these patients post-operatively, because that still, to date, is the most challenging part of the process.
Dr. Kelly and his team explained everything so clearly, but when they said the word surgery to my mother and I over the phone, I didn't hear anything after that. I know that I was in good hands because my parents continued to trust these doctors. We followed through with scheduling a surgery. When I came out of surgery, I was scared, I was sad, I was very emotional, feeling all of the things, as I had to relearn how to navigate through life basically on one leg or just walking on crutches. It was most important for me to do this because exactly 1 week after my surgery, I was going to be moving into a new apartment in Philadelphia on the 5th floor with no elevator. So walking up and down the stairs was something I was going to need to get used to. Rather than starting the fall semester taking dance classes and academics like the rest of my peers, I had to completely withdraw from any dance classes and only sign up for academics so that during that semester I could focus on my healing and my physical therapy.
So the sport that gets back the quickest is hockey, and probably because the skating motion is a little bit less impact than land-based running sports.
Yeah.
So we can get hockey players back, playing in games as early as 4.5 months. Kind of makes you nervous when they're doing that, but they'll do it. Typical time frame that I'll talk to patients about is expect about a 6-month recovery. Could be a little quicker, could be a little bit longer. But for dancers, I generally think it's probably 9 months before you can really get back doing exactly what you're doing. And the other challenge with dancers is a lot of times dancers will have some component of a little bit of instability in their hip. I think I was just looking at your films again. You get like a very mild amount of hip dysplasia, like your socket's a little bit shallow, and which helps you for your dancing because it allows for more motion. But that component of instability in conjunction with the impingement can make things more challenging.
Kia was my shero because I saw this young lady with all the physical therapy that she had to do, which was going to be later. She started her sophomore year having equipment delivered to her apartment. Actually, we had to deliver it to her apartment that she had to do on her own before she could even start going to physical therapy multiple times a week. So on her own, she was doing the cryotherapy, whatever else there was. When we first saw Dr. Kelly, and Dante said to me, "You want somebody that's really experienced in this surgery." And he said, "You don't want somebody that's done just a couple hundred." In my mind, a couple hundred was a lot. And he said, "Oh, no. Dr. Kelly has done a couple of thousand of these." And I thought, oh my goodness. So he was definitely the one. He was definitely one. And the longevity of her career is proof of the amazing work that he did and Kia's dedication.
And to date, over the past 18 years, I've done close to 7,000 of these types of surgeries.
Since the surgery, I have been able to have a very successful career in multiple styles of dance, which brings me to the summer of 2019, where I auditioned for the Brooklyn Nets. It was a very fun, stressful, and challenging experience. And at the end of a long 4 days, I was offered a spot on the team, which was very exciting.
So the audition process is pretty strenuous. It's very, very, very active. It's a 4-day process. We have an open call on day 1 where they do technique across the floor, and then they also learn from a celebrity choreographer. Then on day 2, we switch it up with another celebrity choreographer, and they learn a whole other piece of choreography. Both days are very, very hard. They're very, very long, and it really tests your mental capacity as a dancer auditioning for one of the best dance teams in the NBA. Then on day 3, we have our boot camp. And what separates our boot camps from other teams is that our boot camp is staging and cleaning forward. So we're not doing our boot camp to tire out the ladies. It really is more of a mental game, really focused on, you know, can they stand in line next to their teammates? Can they execute the choreography while moving to different formations? Some ladies have to travel from way outside of the formation all the way towards the inside of the formation while maintaining performance quality and cleaning notes. That's a very, very important day. Then generally our lead captain will teach an athletic combo. This athletic combo is extremely, extremely difficult, and it tests their athletic skills. Usually they have to do a V-sit, a kip-up, a head spring, and a whole number of other athletic skills, which shows myself and our director, you know, how ambitious these ladies are with their athletic capabilities.
Going into day 4, which is my favorite day. Now we know the dancers like the back of our hands, we know their personalities, we know their skill set, and we go into Battle Royale. And we test pretty much all the skills that we were looking at throughout the 4-day process. Now, those 4 days are obviously very, very hard on their bodies. We have athletic trainers on site throughout all 4 days. And getting through that 4th day, we can see the potential that these dancers have in order to make it through a long season. Now, as far as making it through the season, sometimes it feels like we are with each other every single day, that there's something going on every day of the week. And I think maintaining it is just knowing, understanding when your body needs rest, understanding when your body needs cross-training, understanding when your body just needs time to step away. And I encourage the dancers all the time to utilize that stepping away from dancing for a second to make sure that their bodies are intact. And our athletic trainers really help with that. Unfortunately, I don't believe every dance team has athletic trainers, but as we grow in the dance world, everyone is starting to see the importance of athletic trainers that are specifically for entertainers, just because it's a little different. I know that some dance teams have access to the trainers within their organization, but having athletic trainers that are specific to entertainers is really, really important. We have injuries sometimes that happen during the game, and instead of them getting rushed to the hospital, the trainer knows how to maintain and give them whatever treatment that they need to give them at that time for them to get through the game, and then know how to rehab it in order for them to get better and get back to work as fast as possible.
So within the Brooklynettes, we are a group of very talented and hardworking women who all have different strengths. And one of my strengths is gymnastics and tumbling. And I know that without the surgery and without the physical therapy and injury prevention exercises I have been provided, not just after my surgery, but throughout my career since then, it has helped so much with keeping me strong, agile, and able to do all the skills that I need to do. Not just my individual skills, but the skills that are required of us as a team. And I know that none of that would be possible without Dr. Kelly and the Hospital for Special Surgery.
You smiling too?
Yes,
Doesn't
always.
matter.
You can see in the eyes.
Sure, smiles.